On today's installment of Big Al's Garage, don't feed the bears. How y'all doing, and welcome to another installment of Big Al's Garage. You know, it's the last week before Christmas vacation. We're all excited. It's a festive, wonderful time of year. And a lot of us are going to be hitting the roads, headed to see relatives, friends, loved ones. And you know who else is going to be out on the road in force this time of year? The police. Today I'm going to teach you some countermeasures and strategies to avoid getting a nasty ticket and increased insurance premiums. Sure, using some of these may put you on the naughty list and earn you a lump of coal in your stocking. But hey, it's better than a big fine and points on your license, am I right? Obviously, the first strategy to avoid getting a nasty ticket is to simply not speed. Alright, I know, we're all laughing our butts off at that one. Let's move on. For those of us who listened to too much Sammy Hagar in our formative years and we just can't drive 55, here are some devices and apps that you can use to avoid feeding the bears. First and foremost, the Venerable radar detector. These things have been around for quite some time. Brock Yates used one on the original Cannonball run back in 1971. These obviously, as their name implies, detect the radar signals that police use to measure our speed. The police use 3 different bands of radar: X, K, and Ka. X-band is the oldest of the 3 radar technologies. It's been around forever. Very few police forces utilize it nowadays. So generally you don't have to worry too much about X-band. K-band, a few police forces use it, but not a whole lot. What does use Ka-band fairly frequently are your lane departure warnings, your adaptive cruise control, the your speed signs, sometimes the detectors for automatic doors at stores use it. So one thing with a radar detector, I know with this one in particular, I get lots and lots of K-band false alarms. Particularly when I drive past a Honda vehicle. They seem to always use K-band for their lane departure warnings. The final band, Ka, is what seems to be used the most. I'm just basing this purely on my own observation. When I drove up to New York, I was going along I-390, all the police were running Ka-band, and this thing was sniffing them out pretty reliably. One of the downfalls of radar detectors is, aside from the false alarms, a lot of police forces now use what is called instant-on radar, whereas means the radar gun is not giving off radar signals until they pull the trigger on your vehicle, at which case the warning that you get means you're about to get a ticket. The same can be said for laser, or LiDAR as it's also called. This does detect laser, but it basically means you're about to get pulled over, have your license and registration and proof of insurance ready. There are also, when we talk about radar and laser, the conversation inevitably moves to jamming them. There are devices available on the black market that jam radar. However, operating one is a federal offense. It can get you a $10,000 plus fine, federal prison time. It's worth it just to take the traffic fine, points on your license. Laser jammers, they work by diffusing the laser beam that the police shoot at your car, and they just get back gibberish on their laser unit. Those are legal at the federal level, but their legality at the state level varies from state to state. Here in South Carolina, they are illegal. As for these radar detectors, they are legal in 49 out of 50 states. They are illegal in the state of Virginia, coincidentally one of the strictest states in the Union for speeding. Funny how that works. They're also illegal in the District of Columbia. Now, there are still more countermeasures you can deploy. Your phone, they have nifty apps like Waze, or similar traffic apps. These depend on other drivers to report the location of police speed traps, roadblocks, accidents, debris in the road. So not only will they help you avoid getting a ticket, they can help you avoid traffic or other issues on the road. Very handy to use. Two of Waze downfalls: A, it uses data, so if you don't have an unlimited data plan, you are going to want to be mindful of your data usage. And two, as I've mentioned earlier, it depends on other drivers to report the location of police radar traps. If you're the only person on the road, or the fewer drivers on the road, the less accurate that information is bound to be. So if you're the only person on the road, personally, I would rely more on my radar detector than I would on Waze, but having them both definitely gives you the most protection. The final device that I will talk about is a radio scanner. This is if you're a really hardcore cannonball or speed demon. You can use this to monitor the police frequencies. And of course, especially if someone should call you into the police, you'll hear it and you'll know to slow down. This is not a trunking scanner, so it will not pick up the South Carolina Highway Patrol. However, it will pick up local law enforcement agencies. Having a radio scanner in the car is not always legal either. Here in South Carolina, it is illegal to use one of these to break the law, which, if you're speeding, you are technically breaking the law. It is completely illegal to have one of these in the car in the state of New York, my home state, and, surprise, surprise, Virginia. You can get yourself a very nasty ticket for having one of them in those states. So those are your police countermeasures. Again, I am not condoning or encouraging their use. I am simply telling you what they are. And I'll restate it again, the best way to avoid getting a ticket is not to speed. But that's not always possible. You know, the prevailing speed of traffic is what it is, and if everybody on the highway is going 85, 90, and you're trying to go 70, which is the speed limit, you're impeding traffic, and you're causing a dangerous situation as people back up behind you, try to get around you. Go with the flow of traffic. Don't be the slowest guy on the highway. Don't be the fastest guy on the highway. And of course, there is a time and a place to go fast, and there is a time and a place to go slow. For example, residential neighborhoods, school zones, construction zones. Speeding in those places is extremely reckless. Nobody wants to kill anybody. Wide open interstate, yeah, as long as you know the risks, let her rip. Same thing with a country road out in the sticks, go for it. Just know that even if you don't get a speeding ticket, bad things can still happen. You can blow a tire and crash. An animal can run out in front of you. Another car can pull out of a driveway. Any number of things can happen, and you have to be aware of your surroundings, not playing on your phone, not fiddling with the radio. Paying attention to the road is probably one of the easiest ways to stay safe. So with that in mind, I hope you all go out, enjoy your holiday road trips, have a very Merry Christmas, and I will catch you next time.